What's going on? You are checking out an all-new The RCWR Show coming at you guys for now Monday morning of January 28th, 2019. I can't believe it is now Monday morning. It is midnight over here on the East Coast. I am a very exhausted, I am a very sleepy, I am a very tired Lee Sanders. But I do thank you guys so very much for checking out this episode, coming at you late Sunday going into late Sunday night. I was trying to say late Sunday night going into Monday morning. My God, you guys got to forgive me if I'm fumbling with my words big time tonight, because I'm having a hard time concentrating right now and bringing the energy to you guys, because my God, that was such a long freaking pay-per-view, wasn't it? I mean, I was kicking back earlier today, and I gotta tell you, it was very relaxful. As far as the entire weekend goes itself, me and the missus, we celebrated our 8-year anniversary together, so we went out on Saturday, and I tell you, I really wish I didn't have my hands tied up with the wrestling stuff, because she said to me, as we officially celebrated our anniversary on Saturday, man, you're lucky that you're tied up with the pay-per-views, because I so wanted for our anniversary to take you out of town. Maybe we go hang out in New York and do it in style. And I told her, yeah, but it's Royal Rumble weekend. This is part of the big major 4 pay-per-views. And look, TakeOver was good, and she even agreed, because she watched a little bit with me. She said TakeOver was pretty damn good. She cashed out pretty early for the Royal Rumble, though. I can't even remember which match she tuned out on. I want to say it was somewhere within the first 3 matches, but I mean, for me, looking at everything that we got all the way up through TakeOver, it was, okay, that's great. Let's see what happens with the Royal Rumble. And going into Sunday, I totally forgot that the Pro Bowl was on. I'm not sure how many of you guys had remembered that, but the Pro Bowl was actually on earlier today, came on ABC. I watched a little bit of that, and for those of you that might have been curious, I don't know if the NFC ever did score, but the AFC was owning their ass big time. By the time I checked out that game, it was the 4th quarter, and it was 17-0. So you see that and you go, well, there ain't really nothing here, so let's see what else is on. By that time, I heard that the pre-show for the Royal Rumble was going to be kicking off at 5 o'clock, and they were going to be doing, what, a 2-hour event. So hear that, you go, okay, well, all right, let's see what we got here. But I mean, to sit through 2 hours of a pre-show, not really mandatory, but if you wanted to see some of those matches that did not end up being part of the actual pay-per-view, then you have to stick around for those 2 hours of the pre-show. Okay, so that's 2 hours right there. The pay-per-view officially started at 7 p.m., right? So 7 p.m., you're going, all right, here we go. So now you got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Just think about that for a second. So you got 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 7 goddamn hours. I mean, I don't know about you all, but it really felt like I went to work today, except I didn't get paid for it. And I'm sure there's many of you that probably felt the same way as well. This was just goddamn fucking long. My God, when WWE is doing stuff right, I give them a lot of praise, and when they need some constructive criticism, I give it to them. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, this has to be the very last time. Maybe with the exception of WrestleMania, but I think they need to really work out the kinks between now and then. But for me personally, my plea to the WWE, let tonight be the very last time that you have an event run this long. Even if we just take away the pre-show. Okay, starts at 7. Well, still 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 hours. 5 hours minus the pre-show. 7 hours including the pre-show. That's just way too freaking long. you gotta balance that out, not just for the people viewing this at home, but also for those that are in attendance. Can you just imagine right now if you were those people that were in attendance checking out the Royal Rumble? Just imagine that. You get there, probably, you heard the record attendance number, right? And don't worry, we're gonna hook you guys up. This show is not gonna be as long as the goddamn Royal Rumble event. I promise you that. We're looking to be done in 50 minutes or less. I'm sure some of you guys got school, work in the morning. I know I've got work in the morning, so we're gonna definitely get through this as much as humanly possible with the quickness. But the record attendance that Michael Cole and the gang had announced for tonight, there was, looking at my notes here, 48,193 that were in attendance at Chase Field. Hey, that's pretty damn good for a baseball stadium event, and pro wrestling is coming there. That's really good. I know there was a couple of people that mentioned to me via Twitter, and shout out to those of you who I was interacting with on Twitter earlier and throughout the pay-per-view event. Some of you had mentioned, hey, isn't this a really great feeling? This reminds you of the old territory days when certain promotions would come and they would throw events at baseball stadiums. Isn't it cool that wrestling is at this point again? Yeah, that's definitely really cool. It really is cool. But getting back to what I was just touching upon a few seconds ago, can you just imagine being those people that went there to the stadium for the event? My God, they probably had tried to get there early, jumpstart on everybody else, traffic, the lines. They probably got there, I would be surprised if it was maybe 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Hell, I would be surprised if people had actually got there a little bit earlier than that. If people might have started getting in line 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning just to be able to get in there, go secure their seats, go look around, see what kind of cool stuff they can purchase, right? But just for the sake of the argument, let's just say they all got there typically around noon, 12:30. Stadium probably opened up for them, maybe at about 2, right? So that's a long time. That is a long time, and hopefully WWE and the people in charge there of Chase Stadium, hopefully they have worked with local officials and all that as far as public transportation and all that goes, making sure that taxi drivers and all that definitely provided that accessibility for people leaving out of the stadium right about now. But that is just so goddamn long. I want to know what you guys had thought overall about tonight's WWE Royal Rumble. You can sound off. I've got 2 polls that's coming at you right now. They're available. You can go on Twitter, give me a follow over there as well. Use the keywords, the RCWR Show. And also on YouTube, go over to YouTube, click on the Communities tab, and you'll see the poll option that way. And I can tell you, just poking my head on Twitter right now and looking at the results so far, let's see what we got here. So far, we've got about not too shabby. So far we have about 30% that are saying, hey, why was it so long? And we have 26% that are staying in the middle. 15% of you are giving it a thumbs down, and 30% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Now, just to see if we got some early results on YouTube, I can actually poke my head in there right now and let's see what we got here. Survey says, all right, still pretty early. YouTube, on the direct YouTube channel, we've got 9% of you giving it a thumbs down, 27% of you giving it a thumbs up, and a whopping 64% of you that are saying, why was it so damn long though? So sound off, let your voices be heard. If you did not vote yet, you got your options depending on where you're checking this out. If you're watching us live on YouTube, welcome. Go to the Communities tab, cast your vote that way. And if you're going to be checking this out on demand and or on the downloads, you have your choice, YouTube or Twitter, but get at us. let's go through this, man. And like I said, I want to go through this as quick as possible for you guys. I know there are definitely those of you that want to get my thoughts on the entire pay-per-view event overall. I mean, look, if you ask me just in a nutshell, I would have to say God bless WWE for putting the spot that they did in the men's Royal Rumble match with Nia Jax. We're going to kind of go a little bit all over the place. We'll definitely start at the very top, but I just kind of want to work with the last minute impressions that was given to us, the final minutes of an impression that was given to us as that pay-per-view had wrapped up. And I can't really go any further without talking about that men's Royal Rumble match. I mean, what saved that men's Royal Rumble match for me was two things. One, it was the fact that I got to see Jeff Jarrett, and I had put the tweet out soon as he had came out. I said, always a smile I have on my face whenever I see Jeff Jarrett. I know Jeff Jarrett has probably rubbed a few people the wrong way over the years with some very questionable business decisions that he's embarked in. Hey, for me, just from when I grew up on him as a kid and seeing some of the stuff that he was doing leading up into WWF and then going into WCW, do appreciate the contributions he made and laying down the foundation for TNA. There is that soft spot, contrary to how some of my colleagues may feel. There's definitely a soft spot I have for Jeff Jarrett. And look, don't get it twisted. I've had him on the show a couple of times, and if there was a question that was on the tip of a lot of people's tongues that needed to be asked to him directly, whenever I say, hey, this person's coming on the show, any questions you want me to ask them, let me know. And I get the question, I go, okay, well, that's pretty damn, let's clean that up just a little bit. And I still get my point across, coming off very professional and all that, but I don't beat around the bush at the same time. And Jeff Jarrett, past few times he's been on the show, he's been more than a professional, more than a pro. If there was a short list of guests who I always look forward to getting an opportunity to chat with, Jeff Jarrett. There's been more than one occasion where I've, hey, you know, how's your schedule looking? And sometimes we can get him on the show, other times we can't. But for the most part, he actually loves coming on the show. So I don't know, maybe we can get him on the show in the coming weeks, talk about how that experience was for him at the Royal Rumble this weekend. But seeing Jeff Jarrett come out, have that moment with Elias being number one and Jeff Jarrett being the number two Royal Rumble entrant, I thought that was great. For me, that was, okay, I don't need to ignore this totally, because I'm getting a cool little moment right here. Okay, let's see what else happens. And I love the fact that we eventually got hit with Kurt Angle sooner rather than later, you know, keeping that interest there. And just looking at all of the people that had came out for this men's Royal Rumbles. Like I said, we had Elias, we had Jeff Jarrett, we had Shinsuke Nakamura, Kurt Angle came in at number 4, Big E came in at number 5, Johnny Gargano, fantastic night that he had at NXT TakeOver the night before. And for those of you that maybe missed it, yes, we did actually do a NXT TakeOver after show. If you did not check it out yet, check it out after you get done with this episode. 7 was Jinder Mahal. Number 8, Samoa Joe, followed up by Kurt Hawkins. Number 10, Seth Rollins. 11, Titus O'Neil. How exactly was Titus O'Neil going to come out this go round? Was he going to have another embarrassing moment? No, actually, we saw Titus O'Neil coming, and it was pretty hilarious. I did chuckle a little bit. We see him coming out, and he runs towards the ring and then stops because he remembers what had went down the year before. He didn't want to repeat, so he just continues to look at the ring. And finally, he just slides under the ring. Just for no damn reason. He just slides under the ring. Eventually, he comes back out and tries to get in the ring. And I forget who eliminated him. I want to say maybe it was Kurt Hawkins. I would have to rely on you guys throughout social media to let me know. By the way, we do have our own exclusive chat that is up in the Discord right now. RCWR Nation, if you want to represent, that's where the fun is now. At the advice of my good buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas, my pretend sister Ebony, and a few other people, we're pretty much now migrating everything on over to Discord. I even learned within a couple of weeks ago, that apparently you can now do some really cool stuff where you can broadcast audio, stream your webcam and all that in the Discord. So those are going to be some really cool exclusive features we're going to be doing for our Discord audience in the coming weeks. Shout out to Gino, who's there in Discord right now, and everybody else that's going to be coming in there. Gino is saying Royal Rumble 2019 was a good show to me. All the matches were good. How do you guys feel? Do you agree with Gino or you disagree? Sound off. We got the polls that's available right now. Getting back to the list of our male Royal Rumble participants, we left off with number 10 being Seth Rollins. Told you about Titus O'Neil. 12 was Kofi Kingston. 13 was Mustafa Ali, who continued to have a really good, impressive showing. I would have to say of all of the call-ups / promotions to the main roster, Mustafa Ali has continued to do a phenomenal job so far. And I love the fact that whoever was booking this, let's take a step back. We need to remember that Mustafa Ali has been feuding with Samoa Joe. I gotta make sure that we have these guys continue their feud here now, and I like the fact that they did home in on that. That was good stuff right there. Dean Ambrose coming in at 14. No Way Jose, he quickly got eliminated within seconds. Drew McIntyre, Xavier Woods, Pete Dunne, Andrade, that's all they're now calling him, is Andrade. Apollo Crews, Aleister Black, Shelton Benjamin, Baron Corbin, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Randy Orton. If there were those of you that participated in a little bit of gambling or offered up some predictions and you felt that Seth Rollins was going to be the guy to win the Royal Rumble, you are correct, sir. 2018 Royal Rumble winner for the male side, Seth Rollins. And look, you kind of smelled this a mile away, but within the final moments, as far as who your final participants were, it really could have gone either way. But we saw one point during this Rumble match, a little bit towards the end, kind of. No, actually not even towards the end. It was actually somewhat in the middle, basically. We see when Bobby Lashley comes out. And I'm not sure what happened, because I got to be honest with you. I was really starting to tune out, just putting the final touches on getting the stream ready for you guys. And as quickly as Bobby Lashley comes down to the ring, I don't even think was successfully able to get inside the ring when he gets on top of the apron and somehow he gets eliminated. Belligerent was Bobby Lashley as he just went on a warpath, and ultimately that warpath had went on and crossed paths with Seth Rollins, and he demolished Seth Rollins, laid him out, crashed him through the announcer's table. And you're seeing that spot, and you've been watching your WWE product for a long time. You're going, okay, this is the part where we're going to be forgetting about Seth Rollins for a bit. Okay, well, let's home in on the rest of the action and let's see how it comes down. Your final participants towards the end, it was Andrade, Braun Strowman, Mustafa Ali, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, Rey Mysterio. Now, at another point during this match, Braun Strowman, we forget about Braun Strowman because it looked as though maybe he had got eliminated. So all the action that you're paying attention, and if you're really, really paying attention, you're going, okay, I know if I'm expecting Braun to win, I'm going to be paying attention to how he goes over the rope, right? Sadly, I missed when Braun Strowman was completely out of the picture. I totally, as big as that dude is, I totally forgot about Braun Strowman. No bullshit. So to see towards the end that he was actually still in the Rumble, I was going, all right, well, this is actually pretty damn cool. But yeah, I just told you guys, Andrade, Strowman, Ali, Rollins, Ziggler, Rey Mysterio. Now look, let's pick it up at the number 30 entrant. We knew who that was going to be. We knew that because of what went down with the Mixed Match Challenge finale, we knew that Carmella and R-Truth were going to be the ones to come out of there with the victories, right? Since they won, we knew that they were going to both be coming out at number 30 for their respective Rumbles. Well, when R-Truth came out, he had got attacked by Nia Jax. And Nia Jax took it upon herself to enter herself in the male Royal Rumble. And I got to tell you, I love that spot. I mean, not since China, not since Beth Phoenix, not since Karma, right? So to see Nia Jax basically follow along in that tradition, I love that. I ate that up tremendously. That's when finally the Royal Rumble really had my attention, right? Because let's all be honest, this was just a snoozer fest. You take away the Jeff Hardy, you take away the Jeff Jarrett. I was thinking Jeff Hardy. That's amazing. I was thinking Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy at the same time. Sorry it came out that way. But other than the Jeff Jarrett, oh, that's a nice little surprise. Other than the Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, those were kind of expected. I guess now this is going to further along those that are Kenny Omega fans are probably now saying, hey, the fact that Kenny Omega wasn't at the Royal Rumble tonight, oh man, AEW really does have a chance. Yeah, we really do have an opportunity here, right? So, I don't know. I don't know. I see a question in the Discord chat. Some reason it says my other user didn't exist on here, but the other thing I thought the show, I don't know what to tell you, Cody. I only see one of your handles that's in here. So I don't know. You need to work on that. That's kind of weird, brother. Anyway, but continue to get at me in the Discord chat. I'll go back. I'm going to kind of do my best to just run this down real quick. I want to keep it interactive, but everybody's trying to go to sleep. So let's keep going. I was talking about Nia Jax. That was a sweet ass spot where she came out. I ate that up. That's when finally the men's Royal Rumble match really had my attention, because for me, it really was just, I'm looking at the watch and I'm going, my God. And it's so funny because I'm talking to my good friend Titus Machiavelli, who you can catch doing awesome commentating work over at Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. They do their Charge show every Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You could catch it for free on Twitch, kind of similar to what Impact Wrestling is doing. And it's so funny because you got Impact Wrestling saying, we are the first to give you wrestling content live on Thursdays. And it's, wait a minute, you guys weren't first. Wait a minute now. So they're going to have to clean that up real quick. But anyway, yeah, definitely had my attention there. And I got to give a shout out to all of those guys that I had just mentioned as far as your final five. I got to give it up to Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali. I got to give all those guys a lot of credit because they understood their role. They understood what the purpose of this spot was involving Nia Jax, and they all did not oversell. They didn't over-deliver. They didn't under-deliver as far as I was concerned. They went out there and they fucking treated Nia Jax like she was a fucking dude, and they let her do whatever she needed to do, and when it was time for her to give hers, she took it like a freaking pro. She took it like a man. I loved it. I love the fact that she was just physically owning the hell out of Mustafa Ali. That pretty much culminated in Mustafa being eliminated by her. And I love how Mustafa just sold that moment as he meets eye to eye with her, looking at her. You can kind of read his body language. You can kind of read his lips a little bit. Like, why? Why are you in here? I don't understand. Why? And Nia's just, hey, come on. It's just me. I'm kidding. And we see Mustafa just let his guard down a little bit. And she pretty much just picks his ass up and pretty much tries to Samoan drop his ass out of the ring. I can't remember if she quite pulled that off, but she did eliminate him. That much I do remember. And then to see her just briefly on the offense with Rey Mysterio. Randy Orton's behind her, just quietly looking for an opportunity to do his freaking RKO, and the two of them, they're sizing each other up. I guess Nia senses that Randy is behind her, so they're sizing each other up, and she owns him for a hot little bit. All of that was just tight, but then to see everybody finally, all those guys just come together. And that is just a really great way to build up a character. I don't care what anybody says about the Nia Jax character as far as, she's this. And yes, is she kind of crappy with the promos? Yes. But is she getting better? Yes. She is coming along. As far as her in-ring work goes, I think honestly at this point, it just really depends on her opponent. I think you all can definitely be in agreement with me with regards to that, because we've seen some bright moment instances, and I'm looking at the 2 matches that she's had with Ronda Rousey, where she brings all that and then some. It's like she rises to the occasion. But then the other times, it's just the bare minimum, just a little bit above average and skates on by, right? I would love to see a lot more of A+ efforts or A- efforts and up, honestly, when it comes to her. But everything that was designed to get her even more over, especially with the crowd, just the one you love to hate, right? Nia Jax is just fitting that. She's owning it oh so well. I got to give a shout out to all of those guys that did a phenomenal job in putting her over. Everybody doing their signature moves, everything culminating in freaking Randy Orton hitting her with an RKO. And let this be an example for everybody that's been out there in social media saying, oh my God, we never see the men attacking the women. And yeah, I remember hearing a while back, I don't know who said it, but I remember hearing a while back that there is this rumor that one of the reasons why you don't see male wrestlers in WWE get physical with the female wrestlers is because of the contract arrangement that they have set up with Mattel. That apparently Mattel wanted it structured in the arrangement that they have with them that they can't, the male superstars that is, cannot, even if it's for entertainment purposes, they can't lay their hands on the female superstars. And just seeing what we saw tonight, I just can't help but look at that and go, okay, I think at this point that's just a rumor. It's just a rumor, and you know, you're not going to see, now look, I know there's going to be a lot of podcasters and everybody else, they're going to be going, is this the beginning of the return of the Attitude Era, or is this something that we're going to be seeing more often? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. I think this was just a one-time, okay, we're going to sell this moment, and that's really it. But if you were to ask me, are we going to see more moments, kind of like what Becky Lynch did with John Cena, and think about what went down with Ronda Rousey owning Kurt Angle a couple of times, or owning Triple H a few times. Yeah, we're probably going to continue to see situations where the females are the ones that are the aggressors and continue to get physical with the males. But to see a male do something of the magnitude that we saw tonight that was applied to Nia, I don't think we're going to be seeing that. I mean, if I were to make a bold prediction, I think that at this point, maybe one of the next times something physical could happen, it could be something involving Stephanie McMahon. As far as who the male wrestler may be, it could be a situation where maybe Kevin Owens, under the right storyline and all that, it could possibly be it could possibly be Kevin Owens, or Triple H recently has said he got the green light to start working out again. Batista's been teasing, you ain't seen nothing yet as far as him in the WWE. Maybe there's some type of an interesting spot that could occur. Just saying, just put that food for thought out there, but it's definitely not something you're going to continue to see be spammed out. So let's just squash all that right now. But yeah, otherwise that male Royal Rumble match, very exhausting. I would have to say very, very exhausting. Can we talk about the pre-show? Let's definitely go there, and shout out to Lee Strack. I see Lee Strack is joining us via Discord. Shout out to you, buddy. And for those of you that's going, Lee, I would like to get the hook up with this Discord. What's going on, man? Can you hook a brother up? Yeah, if you are a long-time listener, you can definitely shoot a message my way. You can add me at RCWR Show. That's the RCWR Show, number 2487 via Discord. Or if you're already following me on Twitter, you can definitely get at me that way. Or maybe you can post a request on our Facebook page. Catch my attention one of those ways, and I'll definitely try to show you some love. Just let me know who you are, what handle you usually interact under when you check out the shows, and I'll definitely look out for you. Let's talk about some of these pre-show matches for those of you that maybe had missed those tonight. We had a total of 3 pre-shows. We had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. They defeated Rousey and Scott Dawson. Yes, you heard me right. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defeated Rousey and Scott Dawson. Now, understand that with regards to AOP, Akeem is injured right now. So there was a very interesting storyline that had developed during the pre-show where Charlie Caruso had bumped into Drake Maverick, and Drake Maverick had revealed that he spoke with management, and Akeem, he's going to be out for just a little bit, but he was trying to figure out some type of a compromise because Rousey still wants to compete for the tag team titles. And so a solution basically was made where, and I think one of the guys from, what's the other team? I'm drawing a blank right now. God, I'm drawing a blank. Forgive me, guys, I'm drawing a blank. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. I got to look up the other guy's name. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank on the guy right now. That's what happens when I hardly see them that much on TV, and then things are kind of mediocre, if you will. Revival. That's what I was thinking of. I'm not sure if Dash Wilder is injured again as well or what, but Drake Maverick basically said, hey, for one night only, we're going to see Rousey and Scott Dawson. They're going to team up. And if they're able to defeat Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, then at a later date, their respected teams will be given a tag team title shot opportunity. So they lost here, pretty much go back to the end of the line. There was nothing magical. There was nothing, hey, these two have some chemistry here. Something's developing. There was nothing there between Rousey and Scott Dawson. There was nothing that was there. Just fizzle. Nothing but fizzle. Paid attention to the crowd reactions all throughout the night for these matches. This one, the crowd really was not into this. They really could care less. Next matchup, Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Rusev to recapture the United States title. Pretty much final moments of this matchup, we actually saw, what was it? Referee inadvertently got taken out, so he's laid out in the ring. From there, we see Nakamura. He tries to go over to the corner of the ring apron, takes off one of the turnbuckle pads. Referee is starting to come to. He's on his feet. Lana gets up. She's yelling at Nakamura. Nakamura is basically telling her, go sit her ass down somewhere. She's actually taking off her shoes, and I don't know what she was going to do. Maybe hit him with them. Who knows? But the ref tells Lana, hey, you got to get down. You got to get down. Meanwhile, Lana, you can hear her clear as day telling the ref, look at what he's doing. He's taking the padding off of the turnbuckle. Look at what you're doing there. So Rusev manages to come to, and he tries to charge after Nakamura. Nakamura senses, looks behind his back at the last second, moves out the way, and poor Lana, she gets bumped. It takes a significant bump. She crashes, sells a little ankle injury, basically. Rusev is looking on, very surprised. He can't believe what had happened. Nakamura pretty much takes advantage that way. Boom. Becomes a two-time United States champion. I gotta be honest here, man, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that definitely feel the same way now that the Nakamura syndrome has somewhat died down a little bit. It's quite sad to see that Nakamura just continues to phone it in every single week. Remember what I just said a couple of minutes ago about the situation with Nia Jax and how Nia Jax is just able to continue to, depending on the opponent, she's kind of one of those, she phones it in as well. She'll give you just above average, average to slightly above average. And that's pretty much it. And she just skates on by, right? Unless there's certain opponents, then she rises to the occasion. And Lee Strack in the chat, we're going to talk all about that on Tuesday's RCWR show. Tonight, we're just talking Royal Rumble. I like the fact that you want to bring that up, but we're going to strictly just talk Royal Rumble tonight. For those of you that might be curious, Lee's in the Discord chat, and he's talking about who he'd like to see going into the Hall of Fame. And I'm not going to dive into the name that he gave because I've spoken upon that name so many times. You can easily type up her name, RCWR Show. Hey, you can find excerpts. I'm sure you can put two and two together and figure out who we're talking about. But we'll gladly talk more about that on Tuesday night. Let's just talk about Royal Rumble, man. Again, Royal Rumble. Keep it homed in, guys. We just talk Royal Rumble. I love interacting with you guys and everything, but we want to be with the quickness. If you want to comment on anything, let me know your highs and lows for tonight's Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. That much I do greatly appreciate. But Nakamura, he's been phoning it in for a very long fucking time now. And I'm telling you, seeing his first reign as the United States champion, I have to tell you, I was legit optimistic. I legitimately said to myself, okay, well, you know what? Maybe this is that jolt. Maybe this is that little bit of a reset that Nakamura needs right now. Maybe this will get him in a situation where, he'll become relevant again. And all right, okay, let's see what happens here. And pretty much his reign as a United States champion was very lackluster. I think we all can definitely be in agreement of that. Myself, fellow colleagues, fellow wrestling fans in general have all said the same thing when it comes to Nakamura. Yeah, he's decent in the ring when he has the right opponent, but what's really hurting him is the language barrier. Much like with Asuka, except Asuka hits you with the crazy ass Japanese, I don't know what the hell she's saying, but the stuff that she's saying, she sounds like she's about to grab a knife and just cut my ass up in pieces, right? That's the big difference. And sadly with Nakamura, it's just, I've said it like a broken record time and time again on this show over the years. I have said, why not take a page out of what we get on New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we see how some of the Japanese talents, how they're talking in their own native language, and we get the English subtitle and or we get an English voiceover. Why not do that same thing for Nakamura? Why not have all of his promos be backstage? It can be, pre-production. You do everything that you need to do to hook it up, make it be a totally different experience for those that are in attendance versus those that's watching at home. And for whatever respected reasons, we're continuing to get what we're getting. But even if you were to just put that to the side, okay, well, is he at least going in there and having phenomenal matches? And he's just not. At this point, the way he really comes off is, I'm just going to do the bare minimal just enough so I can keep getting my paycheck, and we'll see what happens. Now, his contract is supposed to be coming up for renewal pretty soon, and I can't remember where I read it, but I do know for a fact that since I've been reading his book, he has definitely been enjoying his time in North America compared to everything that's been coming about in Japan. I would like to believe that he really would love to do everything possible to stay in America. Yeah, I'm sure he could probably make some good money back in Japan, but the type of lifestyle that he has now, it's one of those deals where do you really want to cough that up and go back to kind of almost what you were doing before, but you're relatively rich? I don't know about that, but forgive me if I'm not that excited about a second reign of Nakamura as the United States champion right now. It's just something I really cannot get behind. You know why? Because I look at a guy like Rusev, a guy that I've been paying very close attention to since his days in NXT, and I'm going, my God, can you just imagine if a guy like Rusev had came up during the WWF days, and you had Sheik running around, and Bruno Sammartino, and Larry Zbyszko, Pedro Morales. My God, Rusev would have thrived big time during that period. And I've always had high expectations for Rusev. Yeah, he's hit a couple of bump roads over the years, definitely. I mean, come on, we all remember that period where Lana was cutting videos, and 1 minute the accent is gone, and then we had another moment where they announced their engagement, and another situation where Rusev cut his hair, and we're like, oh, you know. But no matter what little political bullshit went down, Rusev has always been consistent in that ring. He's always been charismatic. He's always been energetic. He's always had that connection with the fans. You put him in the worst tag team / alliance humanly possible with Aiden English, and definitely credit to Aiden English. What those guys were able to do for many months even got Rusev more over. And rather than just, okay, let's get behind this guy, you know, let's go all the way, let's ride him out, I'm just scratching my head going, when is Rusev gonna catch a fucking break? Seriously, when is he gonna get his just due? I mean, that just really what went down tonight. It really just, wow. So what? He was just a transitional champion? Like, what the hell is going on here? Crazy, just crazy. Going on to our next match, we had a fatal 4-way. We saw Buddy Murphy defeat Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto to retain his Cruiserweight Championship. It actually was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. Crowd still, I mean, this was the third pre-show match in a row where the crowd really was not that into it. Now, granted, with regards to this match, as opposed to the other two that I just talked about, you actually had a couple of cruiserweight spots that made the fans pop during this fatal 4-way. But other than that, they were relatively quiet for this one. And for those of you that might be a little bit curious about, well, was there that many people in attendance? There were. I gotta say, ever since WWE started doing these pre-show matches earlier and earlier or whatnot, there's been a lot more people taking to their fucking seats. And so it was pretty filled up from the many camera shots, different angles that they were taking all throughout these pre-show matches. It was filled up pretty damn good. Buddy Murphy, he won via Murphy's Law every time he does that move. God, I love it. That is like one of the most prettiest freaking finishers around today, is Buddy Murphy's Law. Love that spot. Go to the actual pay-per-view card itself. Things had kicked off with Becky Lynch taking on Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was actually a pretty damn good match. I love this. I love this. Asuka defeating Becky Lynch via submission. These two girls, pretty good chemistry in the ring. To the point, I would actually love to see these two lock it up again. They actually threw it down. And I like the fact that the pay-per-view opened up with this match. You really needed this. I know some people were kind of shitting on the fact that Becky Lynch was opening up the pay-per-view. But you actually, if you really stop and think about it, you actually needed this. Because you just got 3 pre-show matches that pretty much were not that well received. They weren't bad. It was just the crowd didn't care. That's the genuine vibe that you could pick up. You could feel it in the air from those in attendance, is that they legitimately did not care. Now, to the hardcore fans like you and I, oh yeah, all these guys, you know, they're cool. Now, with the exception of Rusev. Rusev did get a nice pop from the crowd. He was good. Nakamura, yeah, his little music, yeah, everybody sings along and all that. They didn't even really sing along like that. I think about it. Play it back in my head from earlier tonight. But no, the energy just was not there for the crowd. So the fact that you kicked it off with Becky Lynch, Asuka, I thought that was well placed. Now look, you had some people that felt as soon as they had saw Becky Lynch lose, oh, you know, what the hell? WWE is continuing to bury Becky Lynch. Now, I couldn't help but say to myself, well, wait a minute now. Let's put 2 and 2 together here. We just saw during the pre-show, Lana got injured. So how much you want to bet a situation is going to occur where when it comes time for that women's Royal Rumble match, Lana is not going to be able to compete. Thus, cue Becky Lynch. She takes her spot, and there you go. And I think I actually had tweeted that out. So the fact that there were actually some people that were saying, oh, Becky Lynch is always getting buried. I smelled this a mile away, and I had no problem with the way that the booking had went down. Because think about it. See, this is where you got to be consistent, right? Controversy in when Asuka became the SmackDown Women's Champion. Because remember, it was a triple threat match involving her, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and who interfered in that, remember? It was Ronda Rousey. So one could make the argument, hey man, there was some interference involved, not to mention I only had 1 out of 3 chance and possibly winning, but put me in a situation where it's 1-on-1 and it's 50-50, well then that's a different damn story. So Asuka needed that, I won't say career defining win, but she did need a, without a shadow of doubt, victory that was not questionable, that could give validation to her status as champion going forward and possibly riding into WrestleMania. She definitely needed that, in the way that the match was booked tonight and her going over. I felt honestly it was smart freaking booking. It really, really was. I would love to see those two girls lock it up again, though. Really would. Next matchup, Miz, Shane McMahon defeating the Bars, Cesaro and Sheamus for the SmackDown tag titles. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty damn good match. Good match. I gotta admit though, man, Shane McMahon is getting up there in age, and I always cringe. I know some people have been watching Shane McMahon for as long as I've been watching him, and some feel, man, Shane's a pro, blah this, blah that. But if you really just take a step back and you just look at some of those high-risk maneuvers that Shane McMahon does, you can't help but just, because you've grown up on Shane and you know, okay, I know he can do the coast to coast. Okay, yeah, I know he can do a flying ass elbow and all that. I know he can do that. Yeah. But to see a 49, just turned 49-year-old Shane McMahon do a shooting star press off the top rope. Look, it's a high-risk maneuver as it is. That's not really something that has been a regular in Shane O'Mac's offense. And I don't care what anybody tells me about, oh, Shane McMahon, he's cool. I always cringe. There are certain wrestlers I look at and I just go, oh, please, please, please be okay, please. And he's one of those guys. The only time I am ever concerned about Shane McMahon is when he does moves like that, the shooting star press. That's when I legitimately go, is he okay? Because it's not like he's going out there like Neville, right? Everybody remembers when Neville first came up to the main roster and he was doing his cool little thing off the top rope. And we were like, oh my God, Mamma Mia. And then after the freaking 12th week that we see this guy doing it, we're going, he's got that. He's good. Now we've lost the sensation. We've lost the true meaning of, wow, that is just such a cool move that guy is doing. Yeah, he makes it look so easy, but that's a really difficult move to pull off and then be able to walk away afterwards 100% injury free, right? So the fact that it's a rarity that Shane McMahon does that type of stuff, and he's getting up there in age. That's one guy I look at and I go, please, if you can, don't do that move anymore. You don't need to. Why? Okay, I know it's the Royal Rumble, but you don't need to do that. We're fine with the coast to coast. We're fine with the flying elbow and you're doing it off of wherever. We're fine with that. But to do a shooting star press, it's like, dude, just, please, please. Shane McMahon, Miz becoming your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Wow, it is all I have to say. I didn't think that this was going to be happening this soon. I really did not, because there was a part of me, can I be candid? There was a part of me that was looking at this match tonight as maybe it would be the night that The Miz would turn on Shane McMahon, do it in front of his father, Miz, doing it in front of his own father, and trying to look for that validation, right? Because he sells this beautiful story on SmackDown about how no matter what he's done in his WWE career, his dad is never satisfied. He's been looking for his dad's approval, and he never gets that freaking approval. Yet every single time Shane O'Mac is out there doing this thing, Miz's dad loves him some Shane O'Mac. And so to just see how this alliance came together, I thought for sure in true mega heel heat fashion, Miz was going to turn at some point on Shane tonight, and everything would just culminate in Miz going over to his father and just rubbing that, are you proud of me now, Dad? I was looking for that moment. And then maybe Miz going over to freaking Shane O'Mac's family, and I was really looking for that. But I gotta tell you, when I first looked at this alliance, what was screaming to me was, when is the betrayal coming? Smell it a mile away. When's it coming? And I'm waiting. And tonight I thought for sure, well, if it's going to go down, here it is. It's going to go down here. And no, it still isn't happening. And I got to tell you, I'm at a point right now. Looks can be deceiving, but I'm at a point right now where maybe for now, Miz is done being a bad guy. I love Miz as a bad guy. I think of a very short list of talents that do not need to flip-flop. You are perfect at this. That's where you need to stay. I just feel like Miz is one of those guys. Just leave him as a heel. But it's really feeling as though Miz is just, for the time being, a babyface. Now look, something could still happen. There could be some type of betrayal on the road to WrestleMania, and maybe it's going to be Miz and Shane O'Mac one-on-one at Mania. That very well could happen. These next couple of weeks should be very, very interesting. But I keep waiting for the betrayal. I keep waiting for that knife behind the back, and it's yet to happen. Have you guys been picking up that same vibe as well with regards to the alliance of Shane O'Mac and Miz? Let me know. I'm very curious what you guys have to say about that. And once again, we got 2 polls that's available for you guys right now that you can check out. Cast your vote. Let me know what you had thought about tonight's Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. Yay, nay, you got a couple of options over on Twitter. And it's the same options, but over on Twitter, we're just going to see what the latest polling results are here. So your options, you got thumbs up, you got thumbs down, you've got yourself a, hey, why was it so long? And right now, I am seeing we also got staying in the middle as well. Right now, we've got a tie at 29% thumbs up, and hey, why was it so long? Wait a minute, guys. Actually, a 3-way tie. God damn. This is real time, too. 3-way tie for 29%. Thumbs up. Staying in the middle. Hey, why was it so long? 13% are giving it a thumbs down. And over on YouTube, you can vote over there. Open up a new window while you're checking out the show right now. And go cast your vote that way. YouTube. Click on the Communities tab. 15% gave it a thumbs down, 25% gave it a thumbs up, and holding steady at over 60%. 60%. Why was it so damn long, though? So I see right now a lot of people are, why was it so long? Why was it so long? All right, we're doing good on Showtime here. Let's keep on rolling, man. We only got a couple of more matches to talk about. And you know what I just realized? I bullshit you not. You know what I just realized? I just freaking realized that we are not live on Spreaker right now. Can you guys believe that? We are not live on Spreaker right now. That's gotta suck. I meant to go live on there, but that's okay. We'll give it to them on demand and on the downloads. That's how we'll freaking do it for them. Let's keep going. We only got a couple of more matches to talk about. You know what it was? I was playing the music earlier and I thought I was live, but I wasn't. Ronda Rousey defeating Sasha Banks to retain the Raw Women's Championship. I mean, come on. This was a no-brainer. For me, there was just no way they were going to take the title off of Ronda Rousey this soon. I mean, she's everybody's favorite media darling right now, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way. It's just the mainstream buzz that she has surrounding her, everything that she accomplished in the MMA world. She's definitely a hot commodity in the Hollywood field. Fresh off of the announcement, she voiced Sonya in the new Mortal Kombat video game. She's got a lot of good things that's going on for her right now. And look, for me personally, I don't see her streak coming to an end until WrestleMania. That's my honest belief right now. And I know some people, because I said the question afterwards, I said, so, safe to say that Ronda Rousey is going to be going to WrestleMania as a champion, but who is she going to be facing? And some people were going, duh! It's going to be Becky Lynch! And it's like, hey, that's maybe what we all may want to see, but what we want and what WWE wants is 2 completely different things. You kind of have to be very optimistic. We think we may know where certain story arcs are going, and it goes in the complete opposite, right? But yeah, you would like to hope that maybe it's going to go in that direction. I don't like drinking the same Kool-Aid as everybody. I'm one of those, take a step back and let's just see what happens, and then go from there once we get announcements and all that. Look, Ronda continues to amaze me with what she's able to do in that ring. I have been singing nothing but high praises for this girl. And I told you guys, I probably was one of only a handful of initial podcasters that had saw the first couple of weeks there of Ronda Rousey, experiencing the promos and all that. And I was on this very show and I said, look, you got to give her time. She's got to learn how to adapt. Just the fact that she has the years of MMA experience, hey, much like Kurt Angle, much like Brock Lesnar, much like Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, Bobby Lashley. She's going to be able to get the in-ring psychology down in professional wrestling in no time. She's going to get that down in no time. But she's getting ready to become a sports entertainer in the realm of the WWE. So she's not going to be able to just overnight, but give her time. She's going to go. And I said this to people long before. I said, pretty much as soon as she signed with the WWE, I said, look, give her time. You know, she has a history of going in, putting in the work, putting in the time, the effort. It's going to pay off. Just stay with it. And everybody just kept shitting and shitting and shitting on Ronda Rousey. Initially, it was those first couple of months they kept shitting on her. And now the promos, much more smoother. The in-ring work, much more smoother. I mean, early on, I can recall matches where there were certain moves that she was doing. Perfect example, when she does that judo throw. She does it like multiple times. Initially, when she was doing it, early days, she was doing it in such a way where she could seriously hurt herself and or her opponent. Now, when she's doing it, there's much more, okay, got to make sure I'm in this position. Got to make sure. Now she's doing a much better job in protecting herself and her opponent. It's just those little things that I notice all throughout, and just, it's an amazing process because I can only relate to it from the standpoint of being an artist and working with a canvas, and, you know, maybe you're going in with watercolor painting or whatnot, and you're trying to see what's working, and okay, you know, when something ultimately for us as an artist is not working and we're painting a canvas and we just don't like the results that we see, eventually we just make the canvas white again, let it dry, and then we pretty much start from scratch. But what we learned before, we take that and we just continue to go at it until we don't quite get perfection. There's no such thing as perfection, but you do learn from your mistakes and you get better and better and better. And that's just how I look at Ronda Rousey. Every time she gets in that ring, whether it's the promos, whether it's the in-ring work, she just gets better and better and better. And I said this on Twitter. I said, my God, this young woman hasn't even begun to scratch the surface of her career. And already we've got people that want to be fucking inside experts, that want to be fucking Phil Donahue and Dr. Phil and all them, and telling her what she needs to do with her reproductive organs, you know. And it's sad that she had to jump out there this week and put a statement out talking about, you know, her plans, you know, was she in fact going to be, you know, leaving the WWE, or, you know, what exactly is going on. And shout out to TMZ and a couple of other outlets. They pretty much had revealed that, you know, this contract that she's in with the WWE is not coming up for renewal until I think they said 2021. So, I mean, she's got all of this year, and then going into next year, and then what happens after that is pretty much, but you can't, the right words I'm trying to say to you guys, if she gets pregnant, then she's going to have to deal with it when it happens. But I would imagine that if she were to get pregnant before her deal is up, much like with what went down with Maria Kanellis and a few other of your favorite women wrestlers we've seen over the years, they get pregnant, they take some time away, they come on back, they get back into the groove of things, right? So my message tonight, just as I said initially when I reacted to the news of Ronda Rousey possibly leaving WWE, giving you guys some food for thought and all that, just enjoy the ride for all it's worth that we have right now with Ronda Rousey gracing us. Because I promise you guys, if you're willing to just take a step back and you're really to just, this would be my challenge for those that are still a little bit on the fence with Ronda, just go back and look at from when she officially signed her WWE contract and was a regular player, from then all the way up to now. you could see the transition that she has made to where she is now. She's only going to get better and better. And I tell you, it's going to be a situation where everybody is so focused on, is she leaving or when is she leaving? Much like with AJ Styles. No, just kick back. Enjoy the ride for what it's worth, because once it's over, that's when you're really going to be Melancholy, as far as I'm concerned. So Ronda doing a really good job. Sasha Banks, I gave a lot of praise to Sasha Banks, or rather Ronda Rousey. Now I need to talk about Sasha Banks. My only criticism of this match, and I know there's a lot of Sasha Banks fans out there, but just really feel where I'm coming from before you guys light me up. For me, as much as I appreciate Sasha Banks, I like Sasha Banks. But there was way too much offense from Sasha Banks. There was just way too much. It just was not believable for me. I had a hard time really trying to accept Sasha Banks as a legitimate threat to Ronda Rousey. So much offense. And it wasn't even a situation where she's pulling an Eddie Guerrero and she's lying, she's cheating, she's trying to steal her way to winning a championship. You know, if it was something of that nature as far as in-ring psychology goes, I would have embraced the hell out of that, and I would have been like, okay, this is almost like vintage Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks we saw running with Charlotte down in NXT. Okay, I'm down with that. All right, cool. Whatever you got to do by any means necessary. But the story that has been told weeks upon weeks, and it leads up to Sasha locking it up with Ronda Rousey, it just felt so 180, right? Now, it'd be one thing if maybe 2-3 months before these girls locked it up, WWE is already saying, all right, well, we know by this date, we're going to have these two girls lock it up. All right, well, since we're going to have these two lock it up, won't we go on ahead and start working on building up Sasha Banks? And to just, you know, I wish WWE would just kind of figure out what to do with Sasha Banks. One minute, it seems as though Sasha is getting ready to embark on this feud with Bayley. And then the next minute, they're gone, both of them, for several weeks. We don't see them. And then eventually when we see them again, seems like they're kind of working out their differences as a tag team. Okay, well, I want to go for the tag team titles. Okay, all right, that's cool. But you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that's not adding up. And if it would have been a situation where Sasha Banks was saying, hey, look, of course I want to be one of the first Raw Women's Tag Champions whenever those women's tag titles come around. Yeah, I would love to win them with Bayley. That'd be awesome. But until then, hey, I'm focused on winning that Raw Women's title, and the path to that, it starts now, you know, from here going forward, blah, 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 blah. But we didn't really see that type of a build-up. It was almost just kind of like over the course of maybe 3 weeks, you know, all of a sudden, all right, we're supposed to take Sasha Banks as a legit threat to Ronda Rousey and her title reign. And then to see just the ridiculous amount of offense that Sasha had tonight, that was just way too freaking much for me. It really, really was. I had a hard time swallowing that. But other than that, I'm not shitting on the match, guys. I'm just saying, as far as one constructive criticism, there was just too much overkill on the offense for Sasha. But putting that to the side, I'd say those two girls, respectfully, they had a good match. I definitely give it up to them. All right, we got how many more matches here? We got 3 more matches to talk about. Let's go there. So we got the 30-woman Royal Rumble match for the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 35. Of all the matches, that one had the most time, 1 hour, about 15 minutes, give or take. Your participants for that one, Lacey Evans. Yes, Lacey Evans was number 1. You know, Lacey Evans, she had a little bit of a shaky promo on Monday Night Raw this week. But despite that, I love this nice little throwback that she has going on. I've said it off and on about her. She has a Peggy Carter type of vibe to her. Meets I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, and I am a sucker for movies from the 1930s. If you were to pick my brain on movies from the 1930s, I like anything that has Edward G. Robinson, especially when he's playing a bad guy, a gangster or whatever. Something that I love watching from time to time is Smart Money. It stars him, and it stars, oh my God, what is his name? Edward G. Robinson and James Cagney. And basically, Edward G. Robinson, he plays this barber that is pretty damn good at running his own little underground gambling ring. And some buddies of his, they tell him, hey, look, you need to go to where the big action is. You need to go into the city like New York, Chicago, Philly. You need to go out there and you need to play for some serious jackpots, because there's some serious money that you can win, and you can take yourself to that next level instead of playing with peanuts, getting nothing but peanuts over here. And so eventually that's what he does. It's a really good movie. You guys gotta check it out. He pretty much goes from this nice, kind of humble. He comes off like a really cool guy you want to know, because he's one of those type of cats. If you want to get, like, you're in a bind, he'll help you out. Whatever you need, he helps you out. Nick the Barber, that's his name, Nick the Barber. He helps you out. But it seems like once he goes to these cities and he starts winning money, it like really starts going to his head. And I would have to say he kind of almost gets a little bit out of control, if you will. But yeah, I like eras of that. James Cagney, I was just talking about. You give me anything with James Cagney from that era, like that as well. She gives me that kind of vibe, though. That kind of era. Way women were running around that period of time on up through the 50s, if you will. I think she's going to do pretty damn well with that respected gimmick. I really do. And she had a strong outing. She lasted for a good while in this women's Royal Rumble match. Going through the rest of the participants that were in this. Natty was number 2. Mandy Rose. Liv Morgan, who got eliminated in 8 seconds by Natty. Mickie James, who came out almost dressed like frickin' Tatanka, believe it or not. But man, did it look good on her. She reminded me of the bubblegum Bubblicious. She reminded me of the watermelon flavor and then the blueberry flavor. I mean, she just her color coordination. I just was looking at that. I just wanted some gum all of a sudden. I needed something to chew on, basically. Get your mind out the gutters. Anyway, Mickie James, good outing, but she had 2 botched spots. I don't know if anybody else had peeped this out. And it wasn't like I was looking for anything. I'm just looking at what everybody's doing. Camera panned. I noticed it that way. Mickie James had 2 botched spots, and I'm sure my boy Matthew from Botchamania is going to be replaying that like a motherfucker. She did a botched Mick kick that did not connect at all. I forgot who the opponent was that she was fighting. You guys got to forgive me, but yeah, that Mick kick, it didn't go any. I want to say maybe she was fighting. Maybe it was Amber Moon. Maybe after Amber Moon came out, possibly. I'm not really sure, though. Would have to watch it again. But then immediately after that botched Mick kick, there was a botched flying forearm that went nowhere. I mean, both of these clear as day. And talk about miscues. Amber Moon, Billie Kay. Billie Kay had a nice little cool spot. She went over to Corey Graves. And Billie Kay went to Corey Graves and said, hey, I'm not going in that ring. I'm waiting on my partner. Peyton Royce. Yep, I'm not going in there until she comes out, and then we'll go in together. And Corey's like, okay, fine. And Corey Graves, he made me laugh like a mother. He had this one spot. He's going on and on about Mandy Rose. And it was like the perfect setup, because I think what Corey ended up saying was, well, hey, as long as Mandy's out here, I'm okay. Or it's ongoing as long as Mandy's here. And Renee just says to Corey real loud, you're a pervert. And just the way that whole dialogue exchange went down, I just laughed. I thought that was the most hilarious stuff that they had. And it really seemed like, for those of you that might have been a little bit curious how Renee Young did, I would have to say in particular when it came to the Women's Royal Rumble, her and Beth Phoenix, who really were taking the lead on this one, and Corey was just kind of there, make sure it was going in the right direction. I would have to say that it was a different, fun energy that I really, really enjoyed. And Renee was more talkative. She was actually being witty with Corey. I liked it. Excuse me. I really liked it. I am tasting my dinner that is now coming back a couple hours later. Forgive me there, guys. I'll have a little bit of water here. And let's keep going here. All right. So we told you about Billie Kay. Nikki Cross came out. I got a catchphrase for Nikki Cross. And maybe we can get her attention online and let her know that Lee Sanders of the RCWR Show has your new catchphrase for your t-shirts. Because I'm looking at her and I love that whole play with Nikki. Who wants to play with Nikki? I like all of that, right? But she needs a catchphrase. So I started thinking about Prince. And I started thinking about let's go crazy, let's get nuts. Well, obviously you can't say that because you're probably going to have the Prince estate come at you. And that's going to be a fucking lawsuit, right? No reason to risk that, right? Better to be safe than sorry. So instead, I think Nikki Cross and WWE, and I think this is actually pretty damn good. Because every time I see her, I picture her going, let's get crazy, right? So I would like for a t-shirt to say, let's get crazy, come get crossed. Kind of plays off of her name, Nikki Cross, right? So let's get crazy, come get crossed. I think that could actually really, let me know what you guys think. I think I might actually be onto something right there. Nikki Cross, you know, she had a little bit of a good outing there when she finally did come into the ring. Had a couple of nice little good spots. Number 9, Peyton Royce, her and Billie Kay, they finally did enter. A little bit of a purple haze going on in my head here. Tamina had a nice little spot with Nikki. Tamina actually eliminated Mickie James. We saw Xia Li from down in NXT. She made an appearance. Sarah Logan popped up as well. At this point, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce eliminated Nikki Cross. Kind of sad. Didn't last that long. Charlotte Flair came in at number 13. The Iconics at this point, they eliminated Lacey Evans. Meanwhile, Charlotte Flair eliminated Xia Li. 14, Kairi Sane, also down in NXT. Charlotte eliminated Tamina. Sarah Logan, meanwhile, was eliminated by Natty. So if you're keeping track, Natty eliminated Sarah Logan and she eliminated Liv Morgan. Remember that, because I'm going to be talking about that in just a couple of seconds. Number 15, Maria Kanellis, was great seeing her back, and Baby does her body good because she is looking oh so fine. I'm really happy to see her back. Legitimately, I am. Just the what the hell week that she had, where she actually had to take to social media, and not that she had to put her business out there, but the fact that she had to squash rumors about her and her husband and AEW, and they were displeased with the WWE and not being properly used, and blah 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 blah, and it put a really big smile on my face to see her out there tonight. I just hope that what went down tonight is the beginning of something really cool that's going to be happening. And she actually got a nice little pop from the crowd. Just looking at the rest of the names that's on here, Lacey Evans, she really didn't get a pop, but the longer she lasted in the ring, the more props she was given, to the point when she finally did get eliminated, people were actually kind of shocked. You could actually hear it. So they missed the opportunity right there with Lacey Evans. I would have preferred it if it was a situation where if you're really trying to build somebody up, maybe let her be in the final 8 or something of that nature. That really would have sufficed, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Number 16, Naomi. Naomi. What happened right here? Looks like this is where my notes get a little bit messed up. So Naomi comes out, and it looks like Naomi eliminated Mandy, but there was some type of a weird exchange outside of the ring as the two of them were fighting. Naomi eventually gets the 1-up over Mandy to eliminate her, but then something weird happens where I think Naomi gets bumped off the apron, but she somehow, her feet doesn't touch the apron. I kind of missed that whole sequence, but I do remember eventually she's on her hands rather than on her feet. She's on her hands, and she pulls a Kofi, gets her way over to the guard wall, climbs up on that, and then manages to jump to the steel steps. Tries to, at that point, get in the ring, but then Mandy Rose just comes from out of nowhere, yanks homegirl's legs, and officially eliminates her. Naomi face into the steel steps first, officially eliminated afterwards. So it's nice to see that the rivalry here is still continuing on. I thought that was smart booking on whoever it was that did all this layout for this Women's Royal Rumble match. But I do have some constructive criticism in a bit. Also, see, we told you about Lacey Evans when she was eliminated. See what else we got. And for those of you that missed it, I've got, once again, Lacey Evans. Let me go back to my notes real quick here. Lacey Evans. Yeah, Lacey Evans was eliminated by Charlotte. That's correct. All right, so then number 17, we had Candice LeRae, followed up by Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox doing a stupid fit in the ring. Her hat got accidentally stepped on, I believe, by Maria Kanellis, and she's throwing a temper tantrum in the middle of the ring. And I mean, it was some of the most ridiculous, stupidest crap I have seen to date. Damn your hat. We're talking about a shot to WrestleMania. You can get all the freaking hats you want. You just got to win the Royal Rumble and you get yourself a nice little payday at WrestleMania. Double that if you become a champion. So damn the hell with the hat. You can replace that and then some. I just face palmed with that spot. Somebody I've had a lot of praise for, and you guys may remember me singing her praises with the last round of the Mae Young Classic tournament, Casey Catanzaro. Oh my God, she is just something else, man. She just is quick. What was she, American Ninja Warrior or whatever? And just the way she's been able to adapt so fast and getting that whole in-ring psychology down, and just, my God, you swear she's been doing it for a couple of years now. Just the way that she's been able to adapt. I'm really amazed at her. Zelina Vega came out at number 20, but she played it smart. She actually, this was cool. So she gets in the ring, rivalry renewed because her and Candice LeRae, they actually get in the face of each other here. And that basically was a rivalry renewed, but sooner rather than later, Zelina Vega ends up outside of the ring. Wasn't eliminated officially, but she plays it smart. She actually gets under the apron, and she pretty much stays there for most of the match. And every single time somebody is getting eliminated, she's pretty much sticking her head out, laughing, pointing, and all that. Well, she finally had met hers because towards the end, one of the times that she look to see who had got eliminated, which was, let me look here, Rhea Ripley. So let me tell you guys the setup. So eventually what happened, I forget who it was that got eliminated, but Zelina Vega, she actually sticks her head out. She's smiling, laughing her ass off, and then all of a sudden, you see another head freaking pop out, same side as her, and it's freaking Hornswoggle. And little Horny is just looking at her, and he's looking at her. He's got that Jack Nicholson meme, right? That Jack Nicholson gif. And she screams. I love the way she sold that. She sold that perfectly, running all around the ring as Hornswoggle is following. And eventually she gets in the ring, and pretty much Rhea Ripley knocks her ass out that way. But Zelina Vega, all she's concerned about even after the elimination is where the hell is Hornswoggle, and she's running her way up through the backstage area as Lil Horny gives a follow. Great spot. Great stuff right there. Now, number 21, Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott this time comes out with Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Remember what I talked about earlier and how we had saw Natty eliminate Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, right? Yet Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Liv Morgan, when they come out, they go for Charlotte. That just was not booked right. Natty still has not been eliminated. Keep the consistency going. It would have made more sense for them to gang up on Natty, especially given the fact that you had a hot program that was going on, culminating in a tables match between Ruby Riott and Natty. The whole Jimmy Anvil Neidhart thing would have made a lot of sense to stay very consistent with that, but to each its own. Dana Brooke followed up next. At this point, Kari would be eliminated by Ruby. Io, I had this name down and I got jinxed. Somebody told me before I went on the air, don't jinx her name. Io Shirai. I got it right that time. She came out at number 23. 24 was Rhea Ripley, NXT UK Women's Champion. First time NXT UK Women's Champion. Canizaro eliminated Dana Brooke, or so we thought. And then we saw a situation occur where we thought Canizaro was eliminated, but she tried to do a nice little cool trick, get back in the ring. Worked out pretty good, but eventually, if I'm not mistaken, freaking Ripley eliminated her. Sonya Deville came out at number 25. Alexa Bliss 26. Bayley, we told you that spot. Lana, bless Lana's heart. She sold the hell out of her injured leg. I love that spot. 29, we see Nia Jax come out. Keep in mind, Lana never did get into the ring. She was hopping and wobbling like an old man that was 95. And Nia Jax eventually comes out. And she just figured since she was in the area, beat the holy living shit out of freaking Lana. As all of this is going on, Nia Jax makes her way into the ring. Fit Finlay, medical officials, they're checking up on Lana. They determine that she really cannot go. This prompts Becky Lynch to come out. She demands to be placed in the Royal Rumble match. Fit Finlay is against it. Becky's like, look, she can't go. Who else you got? You got nobody else. Come on. Come on. The people want it. Let's go. Fit Finlay finally caved. Becky Lynch enters the Women's Royal Rumble match. Number 30 was Carmella. And that was pretty much it. Pretty much your final four. It ended up being Bayley, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Nia Jax. Get that down to basically 3 because soon after we'd see Bayley get eliminated. I love how you had the whole Charlotte, Becky Lynch. They want to tear each other apart. Rivalry renewed once again. But you got Nia Jax, who's right there in the middle of things, and really would have made all the sense in the world to just have the two of these girls gang up on Nia Jax, but nah, they want to just focus on each other. And I love how Nia Jax just inserted herself into all of this. We finally saw Nia Jax get eliminated as a result of some action that was going on outside of the ring. Looked as though it was about to be an elimination where Nia would be that person eliminated. She's outside of the ring, getting her bearings together. Was actually about to get ready to go back inside. the ring to face Charlotte when Becky on the outside just pretty much grabs Nia Jax's legs, gets her out that way. Nia head first, edge of the apron, eliminated, lands on her feet, back, all that good stuff. So now it's down to Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and yeah, that was a great one-on-one sequence that went down. Now keep in mind that Becky Lynch's knee was badly injured, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe after Becky Lynch eliminated Nia, Nia came right back pretty disgruntled, pretty pissed off, injured Becky Lynch pretty good, worked on her leg for a little bit. Yeah, the officials come out, check up on her, and Charlotte's thinking, well, this is done. You might as well go on ahead and declare me the winner, because she can't compete. And we saw basically a very strong-willed, strong-minded Becky Lynch make her way into the ring, tell the official, no, don't call it. I want to fight for this. This is my opportunity. Charlotte, you've stopped me before. You're not going to stop me from this moment. This is my moment. Let's go. And Charlotte, much like her dad, homed in on that knee of hers a couple of times. But to no avail. We saw some action happen, tangled up between the ropes, between the two, and pretty much Becky Lynch winning that way. The whole sequence and how Becky Lynch came out on top, I loved it. It was a perfect story that they told in setting it up. It was really good. I liked it a lot. Becky Lynch winning the women's 2019 Royal Rumble. So we now know who it is for the women's side. We now know who it is for the men's side. All we need to know now is who's going to be the respected champions that they're going to be facing. Who they're going to be calling out. Are we going to know as soon as this week's WWE programming? We'll have to wait and see with regards to that. Hey, can we keep on going? We got 2 more matches to talk about. And I appreciate you guys that's staying up with us, checking out the show right now. We are almost done. Let's get through these last 2 matches. How long have we been on the air so far? Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's wrap up. My God, I didn't know we were going to be on here this long. All right, 2 more matches. Let's go with Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. Great match. At this point, though, I got to admit, the crowd was very drained. That women's Royal Rumble match, it took a lot out of them. And this was a match where you honestly had to mute the TV, because it was one of those matches where if you were feeding off of the crowd's energy, you definitely were gonna be influenced. And you got to understand how long they've been sitting in those same seats. We're talking hour upon hour upon hour. They're pretty restless at this point. I get it. I really do get it. So this was a match where you really just wanted to mute it, and it was a good match. Did it live up to what these 2 guys did before? Not quite, but it was a good match. Interesting dynamic that was thrown in here, because you had Daniel Bryan retain his WWE Championship with a little bit of help. Of all people, Eric Rowan came to the scene, canvassing the scene, just looking on, menacing, came out in a flannel shirt, black t-shirt. I don't know if that was his face that was on it or what, but black t-shirt, flannel shirt. I think he had jeans or sweatpants on, can't really recall, but he's coming out there, he's just looking at everything. One point, referee gets taken out. That's when Eric Rowan makes his presence felt, as AJ Styles had connected with a Styles Clash, went for the cover. Ref is out. Eric Rowan gets in, grabs AJ Styles, chokeslams the hell out of him. Daniel Bryan comes in afterwards, picks up the pieces as the referee comes to. 1, 2, 3 that way. Daniel Bryan retains the title. This is really, and I said this online, it's coming off like Straight Edge Society 2.0. Everybody else was kind of going for the whole, oh, you know, well, maybe Eric Rowan is joining him because, well, after all, you know, Daniel Bryan doesn't like what's going on with the environment, blah this, blah this, blah that. But, you know, another thing that you guys got to remember, this ain't the first time that Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan has been on the same team before. Remember when Bray Wyatt recruited DB to be with the Wyatt family. So you got that history there, and I hope that history is acknowledged on this week's SmackDown, right? But also, like I said, it reminded me instantly of Straight Edge Society 2.0, and I really hope that that's the direction that WWE is trying to go in, because I really like what they're doing right here. I really do. Hey, good turnout we got so far for the stream here on YouTube. I wish we were also streaming on Spreaker. Do me a favor, you guys that haven't left a thumbs up yet, could you do me a huge favor? You know, leave a thumbs up. You know, it's rather late, and we do appreciate hooking you guys up with the after show review and all that for you guys. But please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on all the great content, because at this point we're going to be coming at you guys Tuesday. I know we said we were going to come at you guys Monday with an all new RCWR show, but guess what? This guy actually had got a RSVP from the WWE to go see the new Page movie, and it's playing in Northwest DC. I think it's the Mazette Theater. I don't know where the hell it is, but I'm actually gonna go check it out. They hooked me up. I was able to see it for free, so I'm actually gonna go check that out. I hope it's good. I really do, because I'm not sold on the trailers. I'm just being honest, but I really hope that it's good. This movie is not supposed to be out until February 22nd, so to be able to basically see this movie a month in advance and give you guys an early review for it on this Tuesday show, I'm looking forward to that tremendously. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot to go into with regards to SmackDown. So keep that in mind, that Eric Rowan, what's going on? Why, Eric? Why? And bigger question, how far behind is Luke Harper? Can't help but wonder about that as well. All right, let's keep going here. We got one more match to talk about. Brock Lesnar taking on Finn Balor for the WWE Universal Championship. The match was barely 10 minutes. Oh. Well, first off, no Demon Balor. And if you listen to this past Tuesday's RCWR show with me and Anthony Missionary Thomas, my good buddy from Wrestling Soup, you know very well how I personally feel about Finn Balor, the whole demon thing and all that, right? For what it was worth, it was an okay match. I mean, Brock Lesnar was dominating over Finn for most of the match. One point we see Brock Lesnar, he tries to go and pick up Finn Balor from behind, and I guess inadvertently Finn Balor, maybe he kicked him in the groin, or I don't know, elbowed him in the groin or what, but Brock Lesnar just started selling the hell for the most part out of his groin area. Even Corey Graves had picked up on it, saying, hey, something's wrong with Brock Lesnar internally there. What's going on? And from there, you had some nice little offense from Finn Balor. This was a different beast, no pun intended, of a match compared to what Brock did with AJ Styles and what he did with Daniel Bryan. If you were to ask me, Lee, of all the Brock Lesnar matches you've seen so far since he's been back with the WWE for a couple of years now, where would you rank this match with Finn Balor? And I think even Finn Balor fans would agree with me on this one. If you can stop being a Finn Balor diehard for just a minute, I think you definitely would agree that for both men, respectfully, it wasn't that good. It really was not that good. If you want to look at it from a Finn Balor standpoint, some people could say, hey, as far as facing a big man goes, Finn Balor, he held himself up pretty good. Yeah, you could definitely say all that nice little stuff. And it's true. You can go with that. But if you're looking at it from the side of Brock Lesnar, seeing what he's been able to do with AJ, seeing what he's been able to do with Daniel Bryan, seeing what he's been able to do with Goldberg. There was another name that jumped out at me, Dean Ambrose, even. Of the matches, I would have to say this was a pretty weak match, and I don't think all the fault is on Finn Balor. I really don't. I think more so of it is on the shoulders of Brock Lesnar, as far as how much he's willing to do, how much during a length of time is he willing to do it. I think all of those things might come into play. I didn't like the way this match went. I just got to be honest. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. No, I did not expect for Finn Balor to win the Universal Championship, although stranger things have happened. But in my mind, when I'm seeing these two names on paper, even taking away Demon Balor, I couldn't help but look at this particular match and say, well, we just saw what Lesnar did with AJ. We just saw what he did with Daniel Bryan. If this is a match that Lesnar supposedly has been itching to have, he's been wanting to work with Balor, well, then we should really see him put in an effort, right? And it just didn't really feel like that for me tonight. It just didn't. Maybe some of you guys in the chat, or you can get at me on Twitter, or even in the comment section when we get ready to make this be available on demand. Maybe you guys can kind of shed some light on maybe why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. It wasn't a shitty match, not by any means. Maybe if they would have tacked on just an additional 10 minutes, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear if, of all the matches of the entire card, I would not be that surprised to hear in the coming week that the Brock Lesnar Finn Balor match had to be cut in half because of time restraints. I know, right? Time restraints. You know, been on for 7 freaking hours and he ain't get enough in there. But I seriously would not be surprised if it was a situation where, because of the women's Royal Rumble match and Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, if maybe, okay, really wasn't enough time to tell the proper story that needed to be told, and as a result of that, you know, we had to cut this match in half a little bit. Like I said, if it could have had just up to 10 more minutes, then for me, I think I probably would feel a lot different. I'm not sure how you guys would feel, but definitely sound off. Overall, I would say it was a decent Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. I mean, there was no, you know, I like Royal Rumble because normally it's of the big 4 pay-per-views. You get excited, you can't wait, right? And I mean, you think about that one year, what was that? AJ Styles making his WWE debut and all that at the Royal Rumble, and you're going, oh my God. You know, and that was a really great moment. And, you know, when you go to this Royal Rumble, other than the Jeff Jarrett, the Nia Jax spot, that was really badass. Becky winning the Women's Royal Rumble. Shane and Miz winning the tag titles. That's pretty much it. Everything else is a little bit in the background. You know, I think those are really the moments that everybody's going to be talking about the most with regards to this Royal Rumble pay-per-view event, quite honestly. I got Gino in the Discord chat saying, I actually thought Hornswoggle was going to be in the Men's Royal Rumble. I'm glad that he was just involved. That was perfect. That was perfect how they had Hornswoggle. If Hornswoggle was going to be anywhere, he was going to be right there in that women's match, Gino, just looking at all the women come to the ring and walk out of the ring. He had the perfect little spot. Seriously, he really did. Hey, let's refresh one more time and let's look at some of the polling results here and see what you guys had to say. One more time, I'm going over to Twitter here and let's see the results here. See, so one more time for now, and we got both polls. They're open. Well, you know, when we post the polls on YouTube, those never expire. The one on Twitter is going to expire in 4 days, so we still have a 3-way tie on Twitter at 29%. 29% 3-way tie. Thumbs up. Staying in the middle. Hey, why was it so long? 13% thumbs down. And let's go to YouTube here. Remember, if you didn't catch your vote, head on over to the YouTube channel and click on the communities tab. We've got 14% that's giving it a thumbs down. We've got 27% that's giving it a thumbs up. And we have 59% that are asking the question, why was it so damn long? Stephen Harris has a comment, and he is saying, with regards to the... Hang on, let me pull that comment up. I just saw it. Where'd you go? The comment disappeared. All right, hang on. Let me refresh that and see if I can get that comment back up here. Hang on. All right, refresh. Just take a couple of seconds here. Give me that comment. There we go. And Steven said Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, I think. Seth Rollins can beat him for Universal Championship. Yeah, that's the way it appears to be going. Like I said, stranger things have happened, so we'll have to kick back, wait and see. Going back to the poll on YouTube, though, we've got 14% giving it a thumbs down. We've got 27% giving it a thumbs up. And we have 59% asking the question, why was it so damn long, though? So when it's all said and done, they definitely are going to have to work out the kinks, and hopefully they'll have it worked out before WrestleMania. There should not be a pay-per-view going. And I kind of get, just to defend WWE a little bit, I kind of get their mindset. I think that with fans being so excited with what they're seeing from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the past few times that WWE has done their network exclusive pay-per-views, the Japan special, and then the joints from India, you know, they're kind of thinking, okay, well, you know, we can get away with this length. Yeah, we should be okay. But the North American wrestling audience attention span, you're really testing the waters there. It should not take 7 goddamn hours just to make your point. It really, really should not. And if you need 7 hours just to make your point, then you got to compromise. You have to. You got to compromise with the fans, with the consumers, and that's, you move the time up. So if your pay-per-view is going to begin at 7, well, no, you go on ahead and you actually make it start at 6. You make your pre-show start at 4 o'clock, right? Or, you know, you make the show start at 5. And you make the pre-show start at 3. You know, I think that's really a good compromise. And I don't think people would really mind that, because it guarantees that they're going to be in bed at a decent hour, be able to watch the news, everything like that. I got to tell you, as we close this up, if I would have known that the pay-per-view was going to last this long, I would have insisted on taking the day off from work. Because sadly, you know, I've got to get up for work in a couple of hours. And, you know, originally I was going to take Monday off, but I ended up taking off another day during the work week because I came down with a little bit of a cold bug. And so I was resting up, and it was like, well, can't take Monday off now, you know, damn. But my God, if I knew now, back then, I would have, okay, let me take Monday off instead. So if this is something that they're going to continue to do, I think all of us need to definitely prepare better from the standpoint of, if you're working, make sure that in a couple of weeks in advance, you've got that day off. So you don't have to worry about, you know, because some of my colleagues, you know, I think I got it bad, but some of my colleagues, they got to get up for work at like, or be at work at like 6 in the morning or something like that. And, you know, they're pretty much staying up as we speak. So hopefully WWE will work out the kinks, though. All right. So one more time, appreciate you guys checking out tonight's show. Please do me a huge favor. Make sure you give the thumbs up, because I really do love doing these for you guys. And it's just even more encouragement, and it definitely lets me know that, yeah, I appreciate it. Somebody like myself that, you know, took the time out to hook you guys up with this after show. I'll be back with you guys on Tuesday's RCWR show. Like I said, I'm going to be seeing the new Page movie. So as far as I'm concerned, by the time I get home, Raw's pretty much going to be off the air. So I'm sadly not going to be able to do a special Monday night after the Royal Rumble as planned originally. But I'll definitely be back on YouTube, live on Spreaker, also via the RCWR Show app. And we will follow up on Raw. There's a lot of stuff we got to get into wrestling content-wise on this week's show. We'll be coming on this Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, as soon as SmackDown goes off the air. Meanwhile, be kind, rewind, check out previous RCWR Show episodes you may have missed. There was a slam dunk one I did with my buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas from Wrestling Soup. That's available on demand on the downloads. If you love unveilings, unboxings, there's a really cool video upload we did on YouTube where I reviewed the latest pro wrestling crate box for January. Nice. It was nice, good goodies. This hat was actually part of it. Nice, cool stuff that was actually in there. So check that out. And yeah, that's going to do it. Mad shout out to everybody that joined us for the stream tonight. I do appreciate you all tuning in, especially during this late hour. Again, I know a lot of y'all got work and school, so it definitely means a lot that you guys have represented and checked out the stream tonight. Keep smashing the thumbs up button, and I will see you guys next go around. Please be safe and be kind to one another. A good night and a very good morning.